It is party time. Joe, that's such an aggressive countdown. 5, 4, 3. I feel like we're fixing to launch, man. Come on. Joe and Brandon are at the helm driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity. I'd love to say that this is Monday's hangover, as most Tuesdays are, but this is going to be our Monday and Tuesday all rolled into one. And I spent most of the weekend drugged up. Yeah, which is not like, unlike most weekends. I mean, but different types of drugs. This is mostly Mucinex and Dayquil and NyQuil and tramadol and ibuprofen, and I may be about to die. I don't know, Brandon. I just know that I got home from Pittsburgh after an incredible night at the Oaks Theater in Oakmont. And let me tell you, I crawled into bed 8:30 Saturday morning, and I don't know if I guess it was just the man plague or whatever. I was giving birth, but wow. I don't like feeling bad, I don't like feeling bad. And it doesn't take anything for me to do that. So I think it was my body and the Lord telling me just slow down. So I did it for a couple of days. I missed y'all last night. So all the news is new news to me. And to help me unpack it some today, my good buddy, all the way from Florida, Mike Imbasciani. Yeah. What's up, buddy?
How are you, sir? Thank you.
Man, you're the third guitar player in a row on this show.
Yeah, good. I'm enjoying it. It's happy to be here. And
how'd you get here?
I drove quite a long way. I love spending 24 hours just on the road.
Yeah.
And sleeping with 2 very nice power naps, 1 hour each.
You and I got to know each other through a radio show that you co-host there in the Port Charlotte area.
Right, Southwest Florida.
Where
the hurricane hit, that's where I tell people. So.
And because I go over there and do the Vissani Comedy Theater, usually every year.
Yeah.
And you guys are gracious enough to have me on to help promote the show. And we've gotten to know each other. I've been to numerous, I can do a couple of your shows, a couple of your gigs out there over the years. You're a guitar player.
Gorda and because I have my band, Mike Imbasciani and his Blues Rockers, blues, classic rock, and then you do your set at Vissani, and then I have a Eric Clapton tribute show called Simply Clapton that I do at Vissani.
Yeah, so. And then I like to finish at the Vissani and then come find where you're playing.
Exactly.
And have some cocktails while you entertain.
Right.
And you are quite the guitar player, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And how old were you when you started playing?
I started playing when I was 5.
Wow.
And professionally when I was 11, and I'm 26 now.
That's insane, dude. And I mean, you play like old soul, like somebody's been kicking it in Memphis for a long time.
Blues music, man.
You're the wrong color.
I've been told that a couple times.
I always think of that Dewey Cox movie, the Walk Hard. It's like, I did a bad thing. It's like, boy, you ain't got enough pain in your life.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like something happened to you, Mike.
Right.
You feel it, but it's incredible.
The government, Chad.
It's the government overreach led me to play the blues.
Exactly.
That'd be a fun song to do. That's a good idea.
Could always change out the verses for whatever news is happening.
Yeah, and just keep playing the riff.
Oh yeah,
over and over again. I want to get into some things with you because I always enjoy your insight. And you got a few different things going. You got your own podcast.
I do. The Freedom Chronicles on Rumble.
I'm sorry for keep coughing.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, I had the same thing. Allergies last week. They suck. Yeah. Now I'm in the dry heat of Texas. I was outside the hotel last night. It was 102 degrees at 8 o'clock at night, but there was a nice breeze. And I'm like, this is nicer than Florida at the moment. It's
like when you open up your oven and a breeze comes out.
Right.
Yeah, and you're cooking a pizza.
Yeah.
But Freedom Chronicles, and you do a heck of a job.
Thank you.
And
we had you on a couple months ago.
Yeah. And I appreciate you. They always joke with me. They say, Chad, you never stop coughing until we count you in.
Yeah.
So that's the deal. And in this audience, they've just learned to put up with me. So, you did have me on, and I appreciate you having me on. I had a good time. I want to do it again. And but anyway, I was glad you were coming through town. We were able to work this thing out. So a lot of stuff going on. I got to tell you what happened to me, though. I was already filling y'all's ear about this. When I'm sick and drugged up, I don't think I can take accountability for all the stuff that I put on Twitter, Instagram.
Or the app formerly known as Twitter.
X, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like Prince, that's how we have to refer to it. The app formerly known as Twitter.
That's a good one.
It's X.
Well, when you just put a symbol out there, it's like Prince.
Right.
You know, nobody really knows what it is.
I bet you somewhere deep down, Elon had that thought and chuckled to himself.
Probably so. That's a good thought. I bet he did. And my Twitter has now, my formerly known as Twitter thing has now been monetized, apparently.
Oh, that's good.
So I've always been a blue check mark, and then I guess I got the subscription thing, which I did get the subscription deal back a while back because I love the appeal of a feature where you could post a longer video.
Right.
You know, because you used to only do like 2 minutes or something, 2:20, and the idea that you could put a longer video up there, I was like, okay, yeah, well, I have longer clips, so I think I did do the subscription. But now it's monetized, and I got a whopping, y'all ready for this? Everybody likes to post all the thousands of dollars at Elon. I got a whopping $206.
Hey.
For the month of July.
Very good.
For 407,000, I think, followers on the app formerly known as Twitter, I don't think I'm doing it right. I don't think I'm doing it right.
The Tucker numbers will come eventually.
Maybe. I'll tell you, I'm envious of some people's deal, but I have a kid. I call him a kid. He's a good friend, Amjad, who he's a student at Clemson. I shouldn't out him like this. He's Snowflake Tears on Instagram.
Snowflake Tears, perfect.
And beautiful kid. He's the beast from the Middle East, we like to call him. And
that Twitter handle was already taken, huh?
Yeah. But he's an awesome kid, student from Clemson, and we collab a little bit. And every now and then we'll throw tweet ideas at each other or video ideas, and we'll come up with some video memes. So he posted a video tweet of the people in Kiev, all the students or whoever it was, the citizens in Kiev. He posted it on my Twitter with a caption that says, we're paying billions of dollars to Ukraine for them to party in the streets. I want a refund. Well, he understands my brand of humor of saying, I want a refund.
Yeah.
It's our way of saying the government's mishandling this thing.
Only a few $1 billion.
Just a few $1 billion. I mean, that's our opinion is this. The U.S. government, they're not doing a great job.
No.
So you those of you who are Ukrainian apologists, I think you would agree with me when you say that you disagree when Joe Biden said a minor incursion by Russia into Ukraine is okay. Well, it was not okay. It wasn't okay. And I think we all agree that historically speaking, Russia has been a garbage country. Ukraine, by and large, has been a garbage country. Now, I've been to Ukraine. I've been to Russia. I've been to both places. I've met beautiful people in both places. But like California, it has beautiful people.
Yeah.
It's run by garbage people.
Right.
And I'm going to die from coffee. But so anyway, he posted a thing up there. And here come the absolute Twitter storm of the whole thing. Some people said, "Why? How can you back up your facts? How can you back up your position?" I said, "I'm sick on drugs all weekend long. There's no position here. I just, Ukraine is not America. We would kind of like to not be involved there. I think a lot of us, we have been told a lot of things. Well, you've been told Russian propaganda. Well, I'm just going to tell you what the American media has told us. American media has told us that all of these citizens are being murdered and destroyed, and we all spoke out against that and said this is horrible for the Ukrainian citizens, and Russia's in the wrong. And I think everybody came out and said, hey, we're on Ukraine's side in this deal because everybody has the right to their sovereignty as a nation and also to protect their borders. I think we do that here. We want to do that here in America. So yeah, I think Ukraine.
It's okay to have the sovereignty of a border between Ukraine and Russia, but then they flip on it.
Yeah, not so
when
much
they are
between
talking about America.
South Texas and North Mexico,
right.
But that's a whole other deal. And so we want Ukraine to have their sovereignty. And so people are like, defend your position. I'm like, I still haven't stated a position here. They're like, well, why would you say? And I said, well, Ukraine's not America. I would prefer for American dollars to stay in America. Well, we're selling them equipment for pennies on the dollar, and they're buying it back from us. It would cost us more to scrap it. I get all that, and that's great and fine. Now, granted, the United States government doesn't have the constitutional or the congressional authority to be sending equipment to Ukraine, and they certainly don't have the right to be putting boots on the ground. Which they haven't yet, so we know.
Yeah, right.
Poland may be another story, but oh my God, dude, you would have thought that I was literally trying to set Ukrainian citizens on fire.
And you were about to have your lunch with Putin.
I was, dude. I have discovered in the last 24 hours I am a Russian propagandist.
Didn't even know it.
I am a paid shill of the Kremlin. I mean, I forget the fact that I'm on record since this whole thing started on this little thing called the Blaze Network, of talking about this deal and saying Putin is garbage. Personally, yes, I do think Zelensky is garbage. I think Joe Biden is garbage. Line them up. Show me a head of state that isn't garbage.
Well, that's the whole thing. And I heard the other day, I forgot who said it, but it was a great statement. It said, "Oh, didn't you hear? We've won. The good guys won every war."
Yeah.
You know, we're at the point now. We know that Joe Biden is corrupt, and many members of the U.S. government are corrupt, just like the members in Ukraine of the government are corrupt. People can be nice. I've met a lot of nice people on my little road trip I've had thus far.
Yeah.
Regular American people.
Yeah.
But there are corrupt people in the American government, the Ukrainian government, and the Russian government.
Yeah.
There's no good guys right now. And just like Trump, the whole point, the whole position, every single person, especially in America, should have, if not around the world, you just want people to stop dying.
Right.
And as Americans, it's not our war. It's not our problem. And by the U.S. just constantly continuing to send the ammunition that, thank you, Joe Biden is saying that we're now running out of.
Yeah.
You know, that's not our problem.
Yeah. And I made that point to somebody. I said, you know, we're sending them armament. We talk about our deficit. We've got a deficit in our, you know, defense budget. We've got all these things. Joe Biden has said these things. Now, either Joe Biden, as we say, has dementia and doesn't know what he's talking about, or you guys, you know, are saying the same thing.
And by doing that, all that's doing is escalating more with Russia.
Yeah.
Because Zelensky, at this point, he doesn't care. Fine. We want the U.S. involved.
Sure.
But then and what did he say? Your American sons and daughters are going to go fight.
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and he did say that.
Yeah.
And that is the goal.
Right.
And so people kept saying, you don't want Ukraine to win. Therefore, you're a warmonger. No. The exact opposite. I'm happy if Ukraine wins. I want Ukraine to win. That's great if there's a winner in this. But their end goal is to continue perpetual war.
Right. Because now that
politicians want that.
Right. Now that Afghanistan is finally over, quote unquote, after that whole debacle, they have to find the next pit in the desert, or in this case, more of a city. I mean, now you're going from the desert to a more modern city.
Yeah.
You see the pictures of these destroyed buildings. It's horrible. People's lives are being affected. All for what? For money.
Yeah.
Always trace the money back. You'll find it. And just to show you how funny people are, I think it was when you were last in Florida, I had this conversation with you. As a band, we play certain songs from the 60s that have political meaning.
Right.
You know, I've played Eva Destruction by Barry McGuire. You play some Bob Dylan songs, Times They Are A-Changin', whatever. They all have their purpose. The Ukrainian war started, and I was talking with my guys, and I'm a big Beatles fan. And as a joke, we said, we should play Back in the USSR. And I said, yeah, that's a great song. It's anti-communist.
Right.
I started playing it, and I think I told you, people were losing their mind. It's awfully insensitive that you're playing this song right now. Folks, I'm going to look at you right now. That song was written when there still was a Soviet Union.
Right.
The Soviet Union fell, and it's an anti-communist song, also mocking the Beach Boys.
Right. Exactly.
So, and the whole point is to just draw awareness to it. I don't care for Russia. I don't care for Ukraine. It's a good song, and it brings back memories. And my whole point as an entertainer is to make people say, oh, yeah, it's like there's a war right now. It's funny. It's a joke. It's entertainment.
Yeah. And as an entertainer, we're going to go to a break, but as an entertainer, I'm going to take you one step further on how far this rhetoric has gone in this thing, and it gets crazy. And I'm going to try to control this cough, too. There's no whiskey, but there's tequila. All right, guys, of all the packages that get dropped off at the door, hands down, the one I love is the Box of Awesome that comes from Bespoke Post every month. My Box of Awesome is filled with the carefully chosen gear from the best small brands around the world. And no matter what you got going on in your life, any time of the year, Box of Awesome has you covered. They got the camping gear, they got the cookout stuff, they got the, your barware, all kind of stuff. Box of Awesome, they got collections for every part of your life. To get you started, what you do is you take a quiz at boxofawesome.com, and your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. Now, they release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories, each box valued at $70. But you only pay a fraction of that price. Plus, with each box of Awesome, you're supporting small businesses, and 90% of everything that comes in your box of Awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand. So it's free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel anytime. You get 20% off your first monthly box. When you sign up at boxofawesome.com, enter code WATCHCHAD. Notice it's WATCHCHAD on that one. You do that at checkout. At boxofawesome.com, use code WATCHCHAD for 20% off your first box. That's boxofawesome.com, code WATCHCHAD. Be right back. So last week we had my good buddy Larry Alex Taunton on the show, and he was telling the story about he's got a daughter. She's married, got a child now, but she lived in a Ukrainian orphanage until she was 10, and they adopted her. And I know the inside stories. I know a lot of what she went through and the debacle that it took for them to get her out of there. He's the last person you ever want to try to paint Ukraine as some glorious republic of freedom and bastion of utopia. And for the record, I've been to Ukraine a few times, worked extensively with orphans in Ukraine, and done a lot of stuff there. So this whole people, you couldn't pick out Ukraine on a map. Okay.
Well, you saw who just visited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, and it's like the ignorance of these arguments are so dumb. It's like, stop setting these things up. You set these things up to just burn right down. But I said, they came at him. He did an interview with his daughter about kind of what she felt and reacted after she saw Sound of Freedom, because she was a subject to that type of abuse. And the people were saying, you're a Russian sympathizer for saying that Ukraine is a bad place. Ukrainian orphanages are horrible to their children. You're a Russian sympathizer. And it's like, what level of FU do we need to get to here? Because you're real jackassery to make those kind of accusations.
Right. It's like they don't want anybody to just have a conversation anymore. You can't just sit down and say, well, this is why I don't agree with it. In the 60s, all the anti-war stuff, and now looking back at it with Vietnam and all that, yeah, it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
And so you can understand, you want people to stop dying.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? How does that make you a Russian propagandist?
I made a tweet about it. I said, we're at a point in history where, if you use any complexity of thought, if you want to have any debate or discussion about anything, or you want to criticize the American government, you're automatically labeled in some kind of way,
Oh, yeah.
And that's true of everybody.
I'm going to be on a label now that I've been on this show.
You will be. I mean, you're
if
you're
I
a marked
already.
man. You didn't know what you were getting into, but I was like, here I am getting this stuff off my chest. But I said, and there's somebody like diagrammed that tweet and said, see all of these, look at all of these basically Russian dog whistles, because he uses a phrase like, complexity of thought. That's a Russian propaganda phrase. He says he's a comedian.
What about freedom of speech?
Yeah, but he says he's a comedian. That's a Russian propaganda. And I'm like, okay. Mike was just talking about the Beatles and back in the USSR. So obviously that's a propaganda.
Obviously, of course.
So basically anybody that has said, hey, let's think freely on this and debate it. Oh, that's Russian propaganda.
Well, and dig a little deeper and see all the ties with the Biden crime family now and all the bribery and money. And, it certainly explain why the Biden administration is trying to guard Ukraine a little closer than anybody else would be as well.
And since we know that, or at best we suspect that, then we're going to look at it a little bit cautiously and say, okay, what is going on here? Because, again, I'm not saying that, things aren't happening at the front lines. I'm not saying missiles haven't been dropped and shot. I'm not saying people haven't suffered. Civilians have died horribly. We're against that. We're opposed to that. And, yes, I understand that Kiev is 300 miles from the nearest front line. I get that. But again, the American media painted out that entire part of every bit of Ukraine was under, the civilians were dying everywhere.
Right.
Now what we're doing is poking back at the American media saying, you guys gave a false narrative.
Yeah, remember, wasn't there that video of the siren that was continuously going off in Kiev?
Yeah.
That people were just looking at it like there's nothing going on.
And see, their response now is like, I was just having coffee at the bistro this morning and a missile hit above me. Okay,
we get it. There's a war going on.
There's a war going on. So, but again, this whole deal, the whole point of this is, here's the takeaway, because here's the scary part. The bot farms came after me. The avatars with no names, they released the bot farms at me. now I got thousands of people, fake people, not even real humans coming after me. And then I had the AI conversations, the AI tweets coming at me that were not, you can just tell when they're AI.
Right.
AI still doesn't talk like normal people yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I took screenshots of it. 5 o'clock this morning, Sarah Gonzalez trying to go on vacation. I'm sending them to her. I'm like, look at this. Look at this. It's insane. It's scary. It's scary that kind of stuff is coming after you. And then, I don't know, people were wanting to debate me. And I'm like, what are we debating?
Right, because you're having their fake conversations. You're not going to win that internet argument.
No.
And it's just wanting you to say something or to blow up more or whatever.
Yeah.
And then say, oh, gotcha.
Oh, see what he said here?
Yeah.
See what he said here? So, they did whatever is the guy that came at me, sent me all these messages. He wanted to have a Twitter space last night. And I'm like, oh, you think I'm going to jump on your 400-member tribunal to just volunteer for your crucifixion? So you can get on there and educate me? And it's like, there's no, I don't know what you want to do. Now, I will tell you, David, if you want to come on this show, the invitation is open, and you're going to sit your fat ass right there while I put you in your place. And the invitation
the couch is comfortable.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable couch. Now, you want to come in here, David, and sit down, because again, you have nothing. I'm talking to David now. David, if you want to do that, see, that's a whole other story, but we still don't have anything to debate. So you calling me out on a public forum, it's kind of a wussy way to go about it in that way, but you can come on this public forum, just me and you, and we can have that whatever conversation you want to have. That invitation is open. So if you're watching the show, trolling as you tend to do, come on. You live down in Temple, Texas. It's a short drive up here to Irving.
I drove 24 hours.
There you go. So that invitation is only, you know how to reach out to me. We will set it up. You can come in here. But I promise you, after the way you have handled this thing, it ain't going to be a pleasant experience. Anyway, Mike.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's talk about some other things. Play clip number. And by the way, why would I only have 400,000? That's not a huge Twitter account. That's not a huge, I mean, compared to, some of these big deals.
I have 39.
Some of these deals, it's like, why would you care what my opinion on Ukraine is? At the end of the day, why would you care what my opinion on Ukraine is?
Because, again, we shouldn't be involved. It's not our problem.
Yeah, but I mean, why would all the Twitter bots come out after me?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
What's the bigger picture? Zoom out. Why are they doing that?
You're literally arguing with a meme that got posted. Why? That's the bigger picture of the world we're living in, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, oh, by the way, they're already putting you in jail for memes. So, yeah, forget it.
That's why I have to get loud locally. That's why that's my motto.
That's it. And that's why I love doing live shows.
Yeah.
It takes the filter out from between.
Well, and that's why with the whole back in the USSR thing, I didn't stop playing it. It was everybody's loving it. Everybody's on the dance floor enjoying it. It's the one person that'll come up and say, well, you really shouldn't be playing that. No, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You have the right to think that.
Yeah.
I have the right to play it again.
Yeah. Just like telling jokes. I have people who say, well, I was offended by that. Don't come to the next show.
Right.
I don't know what you're offended by. I don't know I can't help you with that. I just want to watch Megan Rapinoe miss that shot again. I don't know if it's on here on a number or what, but do we have it? Play it, please. Oh, I love her. I love her. Wow.
Oh. You could say so close, but it really wasn't.
It wasn't even close.
Not even.
Megan Rapinoe. And everybody's like, I can't believe you guys were cheering because Team USA lost. Were they Team USA? Were they?
No.
I mean, would you do everything you can to be anti-USA and then put USA on there, and then you don't honor the national anthem or anything else, and
exactly
couldn't have happened to a better person.
I know. And the Babylon Bee had the best response. Trump indicted for mocking U.S. women's soccer because all Trump put out on Truth was, nice shot, Megan.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice shot. I just love the fact that she kicked it far right.
Right. Yeah.
That to me is beautiful, Brandon.
Yes.
That to me is beautiful.
God has a fantastic sense of humor sometimes, don't he?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, Trump went off on a couple of things that I'm like, over the weekend, I was like, but whatever. It's Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but she's such a horrible human being. And then in the post-game interview still says, what's your takeaway from all of this? Equal pay for women?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Nobody cares.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm. That's why you don't deserve it, because you missed the shot.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? A man would have made it. Maybe one of those trans women that you want to play with so bad. Well, she doesn't want to now that she's leaving.
Well, right. Well, and didn't she say that it was okay? It was fine for the trans women to compete, but
encouraged it.
Oh, by the way, I'm retiring, so it won't affect me anyway.
Totally out.
Yeah.
And then of course our favorite quote scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Science.
He had this to say about men and women playing sports. Play clip number 4.
It is a little weird that we split people by male and female in this way. I'm imagining 100 years from now looking back and saying, do you know, back 100 years ago, they split boys and girls and they couldn't compete. And I was like, that'd just be kind of a little weird.
I don't know, Neil, because
I can imagine thinking how weird that is.
I can imagine that too. But the differences are so massive. On average, again, I've seen the pictures of you as a college wrestler.
Listen to me.
But the average woman is not going to be able to take the average woman wrestler is not going to be able to take down you when you were in your peak.
Okay,
maybe the
Michael,
best female.
You sound like you're an old man on the porch in a rocking chair right now. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, you are criticizing something that is in need of modification.
Yeah, well, here's my take on that. Let's say in a fight, there is no woman on the planet that could beat every man on the planet.
No.
But there is a man on the planet that could beat every woman on the planet.
Yes.
It's because there's a difference.
Right.
There's a vast difference.
Scientific difference.
Yeah.
When we talk about the science,
yeah,
there is a scientific difference. I just started rewatching that show Bones. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
And rewatching it now, it was from the early 2000s. They would never allow that show to be made now. They're identifying people, male and female, by their bones. Yeah. They know the difference. There's a difference.
Did you see, I don't think we have the clip, but did you see where our favorite tranny, Dylan Mulvaney, who I don't think's trans at all. I think trends and is actually just a gay person that also likes women. I guess a bisexual. Is that what they call him?
He used to be.
You know, I think he's like pansexual.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pansexual?
Yeah, does that just get into pansexual at that point?
Wayne Brady, you know, the host of what's the Wayne Brady, who's
anyway?
Talented Deal or No Deal, is that the thing?
I think so.
He's a very talented improv comedian as well. Has come out as pansexual. Somebody sent me that this morning. I said, so he's gay. I mean,
you're right.
Whoopie-doo.
Somebody just said, "Oh, in college, it just means you're very horny."
Yeah, I mean,
it's like anything.
The
whole
trisexual. You try chickens, try mud, try whatever, try anything. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, somebody's trying to be relevant here,
right?
And apparently, Wayne Brady's trying to do that. But I was sitting there going, okay. Then Dylan Mulvaney got invited backstage at the Taylor Swift show, and I was like, I bet Taylor Swift doesn't let him in her dressing room. I bet he didn't get to go in the locker room with the girls. All right, got to take a break. Hey, listen, guys. Even if you're not going on vacation, summer's all about a vacation state of mind. You've just experienced Summer of Chad. I love having my own summer soundtrack. Pop in those Raycon wireless earbuds, and you got something going on all the time through the summer, and good to have a little music going as well. So let me just tell you, those Raycons are a great way to listen to your music. They got the earbud tap functions. You can toggle between the 3 customizable sound profiles, the noise isolation, and the awareness mode. They got 32-hour battery life, 8 hours of playtime, so you can listen to whatever you want, when you want, for a really long time. And they're half the price. They start at half the price of other premium audio brands, but they sound just as good. And they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you can't lose. Create your own soundtrack with Raycon right now. Our listeners can get 15% off of their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/watchchad. That's buyraycon.com/watchchad. You're going to get 15%. Buyraycon.com/watchchad. Be right back. To be clear, Russia, bad. Ukraine, bad.
Corrupt, bad.
America, bad. Canada, bad. When it comes to governments of this world right now, bad.
Yes.
Nigeria, bad.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody, you know, what's going on in Nigeria, which I spend a lot of time in Nigeria, too. What's going on there is horrible. Nobody talks about Nigeria.
No, they do not.
Nobody's bringing that up.
Nope.
white people, man. Did you see the boat dock fight? Did y'all see that brawl in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama? Did you see that clip? Oh, man.
I just drove through there. It's nice.
It's totally.
Went through the tunnel.
Well, yeah. I've been through that tunnel. Yeah, I mean, this big riverboat thing was docking. This is Montgomery, Alabama. Everybody's seen the clips now. I mean, they shot it from every freaking angle. This is so America.
Because nobody helps. They just film it.
Because, well, everybody was either in the fight or filming. And so everybody whips their cameras out. The guy who's, he jumps off the boat. He comes over there because there's a pontoon boat with a bunch of redneck white guys and their wives, I guess. They all got their shirts off and their hats on backwards. Right. They've parked the boat on the dock where they're not supposed to because that's where the riverboat goes.
Of course.
So the guy, if you see the video, the guy, there's a comedy of errors. It's a sad deal, but it's very telltale of our society right now. The guy who gets off the boat, which, by the way, all the news media wants you to know he's black.
Of course. Right?
Because they all say he's black and they were white. He goes over there and he touches their boat. And he's telling them, you got to move it. He's pushing it down the deal. Well, here they come. Because you don't touch a redneck's boat.
No.
Apparently, in Alabama.
Not. Right.
It's so,
their most prized possession that they have.
Yeah. So now I'll have the redneck bots coming at me on Twitter. But, this guy... Cletus. So these guys, there's punches that are thrown, and now it's a melee. Now they got 5 guys on top of this one guy, this one black guy, and then people are coming to break it up, and then it becomes a brawl. I mean, like, people are hitting each other with chairs. They're jumping in the water.
Wow.
They're pushing each other in the water. It's insane. People getting arrested.
The riverboat people thought that was more entertainment.
Dude, they whipped out their cameras. You could literally see the fight from every angle.
Wow.
I mean, from every angle.
So UFC needs to take notes and just have all the cameras everywhere.
It's a cage match.
Nice.
Minus the cage.
Well, you saw that right hook that the White Sox shortstop took, right?
Dude.
Man.
Leveled him.
Knocked out.
And, he jumps up and he's doing like this. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, okay.
Like, what? Like, you going, okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's always that guy that ends up being the one who gets knocked out.
And just caught it. Mm-hmm. And then he wobbled on off.
Oh, yeah.
Surely they
with
gave
help
him
from others.
Surely an MRI. I mean, yeah, they had to carry him.
They did.
out.
I think it came back clean. But the guy who got knocked out got 6-game suspension, and the guy who threw the punch only got 3. So he's the winner.
Well, then it must have been because he was the first one who threw his hands up.
Probably
and did the whole
instigated.
Deal. Yeah. And the other thing was, I think that when he applied the tag, so he was sliding in headfirst to second base. Yeah. When he applied the tag, he brings the tag up through his face and knocks his helmet off. And that's what he was saying is he was pointing at him and he was like, you did hit my helmet.
Right.
And so I think that was the problem. That's what started the fight. But let him have it, dude. Like, when it comes to sports, just let it be a brawl.
Right.
Let it be a brawl. Let them all do steroids.
Exactly.
And they'll all die at 45, but by God, we'll be entertained in America.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. The Coliseum, man. Let's see it.
Just, let the cheerleaders be skimpy, and let's have it.
Well, see, Tyson there, Mr. Science, wants to have the cheerleaders join the team.
Well, I think they should. I mean, we saw what happened when that girl Vanderbilt, did the kickoff last season, and she kicked it 6 yards.
Hey.
I mean, one day we will look back, Mike, 100 years from now, and we will not believe that they separated girls from boys in their sports. Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing to me. Oh, good Lord, have mercy. But speaking of Dylan Mulvaney, who I guarantee you did not go in Taylor Swift's dressing room while Taylor was getting dressed. They did not change together, and they did not do each other's makeup. The Anheuser-Busch heir, this video came out. He had this to say about his ancestors who started Anheuser-Busch. Play the clip.
You must have strong opinions about the
Dylan Mulvaney campaign.
Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney campaign.
I think my family, my ancestors would have rollen over in their grave. They were very patriotic. They loved this country and what it stood for. They believed that transgender gays, that sort of thing was all a very personal issue. They love this country because it is a free country and people are allowed to do what they want. But it was never meant to be on a beer can and never meant to be pushed in people's faces. The people, for the majority who drink beer, care about wholesome things, care about America, and believe that certain things in life should be kept private. and transgenderism is one of them.
Why?
Why?
Why should that be kept private?
Yeah,
Because
if I'm gay and he's gay, should we keep that private?
Yeah, you don't have to keep it private, but I don't think you should advertise it on a beer can. Do you? I mean, if I like,
we just looked at Bud Light Rainbow cans. I mean, the company advertised on there, and that seemed to be okay.
Yep. Well, I don't know. Why do you think then, you guys, that people are turning away and boycotting Bud Light now?
Prejudice.
Why?
Prejudice.
You believe it's prejudice?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely it's prejudice. I mean, the same argument could have been made. Look, I remember my dad telling me stories that there were bars in LA that used to have signs that said no dogs, no Jews. So there's been a history of prejudice in the country. People get over certain things. It's happened to Jews, it's happened to black people, it's happened to gay people, and it's happening to transgender people. So to me, it is absolutely prejudice.
Well, I just think I think prejudice against Jews or against black people, those kinds of things, is a totally different deal than advertising. And I'm sorry, my dog's getting excited. Take him out. Go on.
Well, that makes three of us.
Excuse me, 1 second. Let me move him out of that. Sorry about that, guys. You still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just happen to think that your sexual preference is meant to stay private. I just don't think I think it's not when you talk about racism.
But I got to stop you for a second. Being a transgender person is not a sexual preference. That's different from a sexual preference. It's an identity.
That's a fact.
What you're saying is that the majority of people don't identify and don't want it in their face. That's prejudice. That's what prejudice is.
I don't agree with you.
That's what prejudice is. It's intolerance, and it's saying, I will turn my back on your beer if it's supported by somebody I don't like. I mean,
I thought we were going to talk about my book, Charles.
Well, I did too. I mean, I did too. But
here we are talking about the politics of transgender.
You open the door, Billy.
Well, here's the deal. So again, to Harvey's point, when he says, "Well, it used to be no dogs, no Jews." Well, okay, that's wrong. I get that. Yeah. You shouldn't have that. And in case of that, you don't go to that store. All right. Let's
vote
say,
with your wallet.
You vote with your wallet. You don't go to that store. But what if every store you went to, every place you bought a loaf of bread on the package said, "We don't like dogs, we don't like Jews." And now you had to take that home with you.
Right.
Okay? So my deal with that whole thing is, and again, they're blindsiding him with this thing. He's not some genderologist on here. And, you're asking people to take this home with you with your rainbow cans or whatever it all is. And it's like, I get what he's trying to say. Yeah, when you say keep it private, of course, these two guys are going to take offense to that and all that. Yeah. And it's kind of hypocritical of Anheuser-Busch to say that when they've put bikini models on the calendars and everything else. But
at the end of the day, they've just escalated it so far, the transgender ideology and all of it. People finally had enough when they go after people's kids, when they say, "We're coming for your kids."
Yeah.
It's not enough anymore for them to just exist, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. You want to be gay, you want to be transgender, you're an adult. We don't care.
Yeah.
This is America. We don't care. You do whatever you want to do and live your life.
Which is what he said.
Right. But now that's not enough anymore. It's not good enough anymore. Now it's, well, you must invite me over for dinner now. Right. It's that type of mentality.
You have to go out on a date with me.
Right.
If you don't, you're a transphobe.
Exactly. And they just are looking for that avenue to say, well, you're a transphobe. Yeah. We don't like you.
I was doing a show in Denver a couple years ago, and this group of girls comes in to the Grizzly Rose. Anybody from Denver knows the Grizzly Rose. Great music venue out there. And these girls are all wearing tight dresses and stuff. And, me and my guys were out there. I mean, I'm with the boys, and the guys are like, "Oh, yeah. Whoa, what is that?" And I'm telling you, that dude had a tighter body than the girls. And I'm in a tighter skirt, but she had a head on her like a house cat. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow. It was like, there it was. It was a dude.
The jawline is hard to make disappear.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Well, to get rid of the jawline.
It's the
And
Adam's apple. That,
yeah. See, that's a very pronounced one you got there, Imbasciani.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you look at that and you're like, okay, so now if I don't, ask that girl out or buy her a drink, then...
It's just you're a transphobe Russian propagandist.
I'm paid by the Kremlin to be one.
Yes. It's never enough.
That's right. I'm basically a Ugandan, too. We don't believe in same-sex anything. All right? Hey, guys, you always hear about these brands like this that are selling out their customers and going woke. Well, Americans are sick of it, just like Mike said, and they're tired of having the leftist propaganda jammed into every product they consume. The woke mobile companies are no different. For years, they've been dumping millions of dollars into liberal causes, and you've just had to take it because you need a cell phone. And you didn't think there was an alternative, but there is. And you can make the switch today. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer dependable nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. So you get the same coverage that you've been accustomed to in your area, minus the leftist propaganda. So when you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending a message that you support free speech, religious freedom, sanctity of life, Second Amendment, your military veterans, first responder heroes. And they got a 100% U.S.-based customer service team that is going to make switching easy. So you keep your phone, keep your number as well. Go to patriotmobile.com or call them 878-PATRIOT. That's patriotmobile.com/Chad. Let's be proper. Or call them at 878-PATRIOT. Free activation today when you use offer code CHAD, I spell it Chad, and you get their coverage guarantee while you're there. Same dependable service. Take a stand for your values. Make the switch. patriotmobile.com/Chad. Be right back. All right. Talking about that whole stuff, though, Neo. I don't know if people know who Neo is.
I remember hearing about him years ago. I never listened to that.
Yeah, I'm
rap
not a
music
hip-hop
anyway, but
person.
Yeah.
I hear the names. I recognize the names. I used to live next to a bunch of people. Like when I was in Atlanta after I'd gone through a divorce, I lived at the Atlanta Country Club, and I was like right next to Usher and
nice, yeah,
T-Pain and Lil Jon. And
you got invited to the barbecues?
They didn't invite me at all. I ran into T-Pain one time at the liquor store, and he was buying like $5,000 in liquor and loading it up in the convertible out there. And I was like, T, what you doing? He goes, I got a party. I said, can I come? He goes, no, bro. And that's how it made me feel. Just how it made me feel. But I knew them. I knew their names and stuff. And I used to see Bobby and Whitney at the country club, and Whitney wasn't doing so good. Neither was her dog. Whole other story. But
digging up memories here.
Yeah. But, Neo came out. Guess he was doing a podcast or whatever. And he was
I
doing
think this he did afterwards.
No, I know that. But originally he was doing a podcast, and he said, parents, it's time for parents to step up and be parents.
Right.
Because if my kid comes to me, my little boy says, I want to be a girl, we're not doing that. And then
you take him to see the Barbie movie, and then
right,
like, whoa,
yeah, job done, well done right here.
Yeah.
And so then there was this big apology statement. I want to issue a deep apology for the people I might have offended. And I was like, well, there he goes, doing the thing.
Yep.
Turns out, it wasn't him that apologized. Play clip number 7.
What's going on, loved ones? This is Neo. All right, listen. I normally don't give too much of a damn about what y'all think about what I do, what y'all have to say about what I say, whatever. I normally don't care because, like I said, opinions ain't special. Everybody got one. However, this is something I feel very strongly on, and I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. So check this out. First and foremost, I do not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I am a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls, okay? That's my reality. Now,
prolific.
If my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure, I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I'm entitled to feel how I feel. I'm absolutely entitled to feel how I feel the same way you are entitled to feel how you feel. I ain't asked nobody to follow me. I ain't asked nobody to agree with me. I was asked a question, and I answered the damn question, okay? I have no beef with the LGBTQIA plus community whatsoever. I ain't got no beef with y'all. Do whatever the hell it is you want to do. Do what you want to do with your kids. However, somebody asked my opinion on this matter, and this is how I feel. I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that. I don't care. I definitely plan to educate myself a little bit more on this matter. However, I doubt that there's any book, anywhere or any opinion that somebody's going to tell me that's going to make me okay with letting a child make a decision like that. That's just period, point blank, and that's how I feel. If I get canceled for this, then you know what? Maybe this is a world where they don't need a Neo no more, all right? And I got no problem with that. I'm a hustler, all right? I'll figure it out. I got kids to raise, and I'm going to do that regardless. So with that being said, y'all have a good day. I love everybody. Live how you want to live, love how you want to love, but your opinion is yours. Speak your opinion as much as you damn well feel like it. Because as I said, they're not important. They're not special. Everybody got one, and you're entitled to it. I'm entitled to mine. All right? Y'all feel how y'all want to feel. Have a great day. It's Neo. Peace and love.
Yeah, maybe the world don't need Neo no more.
Well, there you go. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
I like it. I mean, Neo's not a person I would hold up as a paragon of masculinity and integrity throughout his past, but I wouldn't hold myself up as one either. So there you go. Anyway, it's the way it goes. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more. And I want you to hang. I want you to hang because I want us to do Thursday's episode together and just keep talking about it. Oh, my gosh. I'm tired of the systematic erosion of traditional masculinity in our society, and I want us to put a stop to the dangerous trend. And I'll tell you how you could take back your rightful place as a proud, strong American man. And it is through a great supplement that I take every day, the Black Forest Testo Stack. Black Forest Testo Stack, all-powerful, all-American testosterone supplement pack. It harnesses the might of testosterone, cistanch, and Tonkat Ali. Learn those words.
Yeah, those are fun.
That's a lot to go on right there. It's been around for generations, been around for millennia. And let me tell you, they're all natural. They're herbs that will absolutely... Even Genghis Khan used to rely on cistanch to maintain his virility. Neo probably took some. That's why he got 7 kids. But take the Black Forest Testo Stack. I can personally vouch for it. It's effective. I've experienced some significant improvements in energy levels and well-being, this present cough notwithstanding. But it will bring back traditional masculinity and will lead to overall just ooze the toxicity that you need to ooze, all right? Hey, try it. Get a 10% discount when you use promo code CHAD, I spell it Chad, at blackforestsupplements.com/Chad. blackforestsupplements.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad, get 10% off. We'll be right back. All right, Mike Imbasciani, where can people find you?
You can find the political podcast, The Freedom Chronicles, on Rumble or YouTube, Spotify, all that. Still on YouTube for now. And the band, Mike Imbasciani and his Blues Rockers, is MikeImbasciani.com. I'm sure you'll write it in the description so people can spell it. And simplyclapton.com is the Eric Clapton tribute show.
Simplyclapton.
Yeah.
.com.
Appreciate it,
it's
brother.
Phenomenal. Let me tell you something. Anywhere this guy's playing, you got to go. You got to check it out. And he's playing a lot. So check him out. Safe travels, brother. And hang tight. You're going to be back with us on Thursday, which we're just going to continue this conversation and keep coughing into the microphone.
Exactly.
Where am I? I'm in Waco. Some tickets left in Waco, actually. Friday night there at the Hippodrome. It's going to be a different kind of show. You don't want to miss it. Lots of comedy. Jesse Payton, Dustin Sims with me. And then I'm in Georgetown, Texas on Saturday. Then I'm heading out to California next week, so don't miss it. WatchChad.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you. God bless you. Bye.